Okie dokie. It is time for our first live discussion, book discussion of 2026, believe it or not. It feels like it's been forever, and we did have reading sprints earlier in the month. However, it does feel like it's been a really long time since we've discussed books. So kind of excited about this evening's discussion. It is one of those authors that I've read before. We as a book club have read from before. So it'll be exciting to see if anyone feels differently about this book compared to what was it? Big Little Lies is the other one we read. And so on. So we'll just kind of let everyone kind of settle in this evening. So as you enter the discussion, make sure you say hello and feel free to answer or discuss any of the questions that we are going through this evening. If you've missed it at all, we are discussing our January book pick of Liane Moriarty's Apples Never Fall. This is part of our reading through the decades. So this book fell under the 2025 to 2020. So this one was a smaller year, not quite a decade, but we wanted to do one that was all new, like newer releases. So here in February, we are going to be reading from the decade 2019 to 2010. And that we have already picked. Our poll has already gone up. It has already closed. So our February book, do you have a copy?
I do.
Awesome.
Delaney.
Okay. So it is Delaney by Max Porter. And Laura, can you give a quick synopsis? Can you read from the back of it? Does it have any of that on there?
This one may not. Oh no, it does. Okay. It's different than the other one before too. So, anyways, whatever, doesn't matter. There's a village an hour from London. It's no different from any others. One pub, one church, red brick cottages, some public housing. This village belongs to the people who live in it, to the land, and to the land's ancient past. It also belongs to dead Papa Toothwort, a mythical figure that school children used to draw with leafy tendrils growing out of his mouth, who awakens after a glorious nap. He's listening to this 21st century village, to its symphony of talk. Drunken confessions, gossip traded on the street corner, fretful dinner table conversations. He is listening intently for a mischievous, ethereal boy whose parents have recently made the village their home, Lanny. So, yeah, different.
I'm excited.
Me too.
That's the one that I kind of wanted to read. The only time I really heard about it was because it was part of what was the BookTube prize.
Yeah.
I remember people talking about it then. And it seemed intriguing to me. It is a smaller read, right? How many pages?
Right. This is 210, and a lot of the pages are like this.
Okay.
And it's, I think there's some like different print. Yeah, see? This is
okay.
With Wart talking.
Okay.
So, very cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited to read that. Something different. It looks like Jenna's here. Hello, hello.
Hi.
And yes, it does feel like forever, but as if it was yesterday. So welcome back. I hope that you are going to have some fun with us this year and in, out, lurking in the background, whatever suits you, whatever floats your boat. So we're just happy to have you here. So welcome, welcome. Happy New Year. Hope you and yours are having a safe start to the new year. Okay, so like we mentioned, we are reading through the decades. So Lanny is part of that 2019 to 2010, so that decade. And then coming in March, and we'll share the 3 options in next week's live, which is our reading sprints, which will be the March picks, and those will be in the decade of the knots, so 2000 to 2009. And with it being March, we are going to be doing some middle grade. So look forward to that next week. We'll go through what the options are, and then the poll will go up as per usual. So we're really excited about that. I know for our birthday months, we have 2 decades that I think are going to be pretty interesting. I know, Laura, I think you have the 80s and I have the 60s. Is that right? Yeah. So that'll be pretty exciting. I know Laura has her pick figured out. I do not yet have mine figured out. I keep like, I have one picked out and I'm like, maybe not. And then I have another one picked out and I'm like, maybe not. So yeah. I'm still hesitant. I'm usually like, Laura, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm usually like literally the like night before. I'm like, okay, I finally have it. Yeah. It's like I always want to like make sure I have a good read. And I feel like the last couple of times I've picked stuff, I'm just like, I don't know if I even really like this. So why did I pick this book? Yeah. So I think I like psych myself up too much, and I should have probably just gone with like the first one that I thought of, and then I think too much about it. I'm a maximizer. Some people are minimizers. They're just like, whatever, like, oh, that looks good, and they pick it. And I'm like, oh, but wait, there's more.
I know. I picked mine primarily because I already owned a copy, and I don't know if I'll ever get around to reading it if I don't pick it for something like this.
Right.
So I think it will be good. I think everyone will like it. I hope most people will like it, but I'm also real nervous because I don't know anything about it. I don't know anyone who's read it. Like, yeah, it's really, I feel like I'm really taking a shot in the dark here, but you know,
that's what book clubs are for, right?
Right. Yeah. It's terrible. We'll all think it's terrible, and that's fine.
Did we say that the books chosen would be set? So no, not necessarily set in that decade. They're just written in that decade, like published in that decade. So like Apples Never Fall, I think this was in 2024. And then Lanny is somewhere within that decade. But yeah, not the time frame. So it could be like a historical fiction, but it's, you know, it was written in 1960 if I was picking it. So great question. Yeah. That would be hard. That would be interesting because there's so many books that, I mean, you'd really have to make sure that it was like, so it'd have to be like a contemporary of that time. Oh, that would be interesting.
Lanny is 2019, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. So right on the cusp. Okay. Well, let's get into, and again, so Lanny is written by Max Porter. So if you're looking for that on Audible or Hoopla or Libby or Kindle, Max Porter is the author. And then this month we are reading Apples Never Fall by Liane Moriarty. So let's jump right on into our discussion. We always start all of our book club discussions with our rating on a scale of 1 out of 5. 5 being amazing. What was your rating and what are your overall thoughts?
I'm giving this a 2 just because I don't really like family drama books like that, family mysteries, like stories about missing people, stuff, real life missing people. Yes, I'm all into. Fictional ones, I don't care about. This was a 2. Well written, very, very readable. I read it in a day. Like, you know, it's good. We read it before, obviously. I just really didn't care for the story and everybody in it. It just is not my bag at all. So 2, readable. I finished it. Glad I read it. Won't read it again. It was okay. What did you think?
So I gave it 3 stars. And the reason I gave it 3 stars is because I have read several other of Liane Moriarty. And so I found myself really kind of comparing her writing to her other things and kind of having a rating scale based on that, because there are books of hers that I absolutely love and I've given 5 stars. And then this one I just felt really didn't hit that same level of interest, or like usually with Liane Moriarty books, I'm like, whoa, and I'm just blown away. And I didn't really feel blown away in this one. I didn't mind that it was a family drama. I don't often read family dramas, but I was fine with this one. I did like that there was a lot of like bait and switches almost. I did like, and it's funny because Allie mentioned this, and yes, it is me, Allie, if you're watching this in replay. I am the one that does not like unreliable narrators. Unreliable narrators to me are super annoying. But after listening to your comment and like outing me again as a person who doesn't like that, which out me all you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
When I was listening to you say that, and I was like, you're right. I did say that. I don't like unreliable narrators. But I think because I've read other books like this where there are multiple perspectives and like everybody's unreliable. I think I'm like an all or nothing. Either everyone has to be unreliable because it's the whole that's the shtick, that's the premise. It's a mystery, it's a thriller. Who can you rely on? Or not at all, because I think the ones that I don't like, where the unreliable narrator I don't like, is when it's like one. And I'm like, I don't like you. Stop talking. I don't trust you. You're annoying. But I think it's because that's like the only perspective you get. So it's just annoying to me. But when it's everybody, I feel like more, the word that just popped in my head was safe. And I think for me, that means like, we're going to figure this out together. But when it's just one unreliable narrator, I'm like, no, I don't like this. I feel like I don't feel good. So I think that's what I'm going to stick with for right now. But as we are all readers, we change all the time. So don't hold me to that. But thank you for pointing that out, Allie, in our Voxer group. If anyone's part of our Voxer group, that's where that's where that comment was made. Hi, Allie, Andy. Oh, yep.
It's
That'll
good.
do ya.
That'll
do ya. We got a 3, but it was a 2.5.
Yeah.
With Goodreads, you can only do whole points. I've enjoyed all of her books, but this one did not keep my attention at all. So whenever I go and I put my rating in Goodreads, I'll scroll down and I'll look at the ratings. And that was a commonality amongst a lot of people that I know in the community, is that it just felt really drawn out. I did not feel that way, and I'm wondering if it's because I listened to it on audio, so like I was physically doing things while I was reading. But I wonder if I was just sitting down, which I did sit down and read like the first, where's this bookmark? So like this much I read while listening. So I was sitting down, and that was okay. But I wonder if like, because the middle is where it's really like a stick in the mud. Like you're really kind of stuck listening to like just a lot of nothingness. So yeah, maybe I would have felt that way if I would have kept just physically reading it. Jenna also gave it a 3. Felt like it was repetitive. Yeah, constant reminders. And it seemed like it didn't let readers make connections by themselves. Yeah, it almost was like it was telling instead of showing a lot of the time. Or it was like showing you, but then it immediately told you what it was. And it was like, oh, okay, well, that's nice. Except when it came to Savannah. When it came to Savannah, it was like you never really knew what was happening. You're like, what? That was the most unhinged thing. And that character really reminds me of a character in another one of her stories. So I was like, man, she really likes this kind of character. I think I've only read 9 Perfect Strangers. I think gave it 4, maybe even a 5. Thought that book was a lot more interesting and dramatic. Yeah, so I've read, and that's the funny thing. Of her books that I've read, the 2 that we have read in book club are on the bottom of the pile. Which we read Big Little Lies together, and that was okay. It was like a domestic thriller, I would call it. And the aha moment at the end of that book was pretty dang good, but I really liked What Alice Forgot. And I really liked The Hypnotist Love Story. That one was so good. I liked that one a lot. So those are the two that I think I like more. But there are so many. I mean, she has so many books.
Yeah.
So definitely definitely in like, so if I've read 4, this is like on the bottom half of the pile. But I read the first half of the book physically, then switched to audio so I could finish it. Yeah. And that's what's nice too about having that accessibility to like audiobooks. So sometimes that's what you have to do. Like I find myself doing that a lot with books that I'm like starting. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. I'm able to get through them with audiobooks. So
yeah,
there's that.
This one I started with audio and reading at the same time just to get myself going. And then I sped up the audio because I knew who was who and what was happening. And I was like, oh, I kind of don't like the audio. I'm going to go back to the book. So I switched back and forth for like the first quarter. And then I couldn't get the speed right for myself. Like 2.5 was too slow. 3 was just the scoochest too fast for me to like do other things and still know what was going on. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I just sat and read it then. Like, never mind, not doing the audio at all. But it was nice to have them at the same time for a while, you know.
Yeah.
Just, I think it was just because of the accent too. And I watched plenty of Aussie stuff. It wasn't just that, you know, but it was just like, I can't figure out this one. Never mind, reading. Just
reading. Yeah, and I think the narrator was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that the accent was terribly harsh. Sometimes when you read other people's accents, it's kind of like, oh, you're quite thick. I did find myself chuckling a few times when certain words, the pronunciation is so different, like the aluminum for how we say it, and then how do you say it? Aluminium or something. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. So those kind of things I love hearing that, because like you get an opportunity to hear how other people say things. And I just love that. So but yeah, I could see how, especially when you're reading it, because I find that all the time. Like I read way faster than I listen, but I can't. It's like you can't do both at the same speed, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I can read faster than I listen, but if I try to put the listening as fast as I can read, it's too fast. Because obviously I can't hear that fast. Like I can't like it's like you're translating.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly what you're saying. Like you can never mesh it up perfectly. So yeah, I remember whatever year we read The Glass Castle.
Oh yeah.
To finish that book, I put that speed at like 4 because that's how fast I could read, like technically, but it was so disorienting because I was super busy and I was like, I need to read this book before our discussion, and I had like, I don't know, 25% left, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was insane. So I'm glad I've never had to do that again. But I finished this book. I think this was the first book that I finished here in January. So it's been a little bit since, so I may have to be, reminded of a few things that have happened. But had both books in audio today and a few hours to go and put it down and read another book start to finish before picking it back up again. What book did you start today? Start and finish today? Yeah, people think I'm going to do it too. Yeah, if I'm just like, this is gonna sound really stupid, but like if I'm just like lazily reading a book, it's 2 speed. I cannot do anything slower than 2 speed. If I'm reading a book that I'm annotating, I will do 1.75, but that's like the lowest I can do. I can't do it. The funny thing is when I started reading books, which oddly enough was not that long ago. It was like basically when I started BookTube is when I started trying audiobooks. I had no idea you could change the speed. So I would put an audiobook on and I would sit there and be like, I can't do this. I can't do this. This is literally torture. This is torture. So I'm like, I can't read audiobooks. And then I was like, someone had said something and I was like, oh, I don't know. And I just was like goofing around with certain buttons. And all of a sudden I found a button and it was like speed. And I was like, speed. And this is me, like a 35-year-old woman going, oh, you can change the speed. So then I started changing the speed on my YouTube videos. Like when I'm watching YouTube videos, like I was a speed demon heaven, like just changing speed on everything. So thankfully now it's been however many, and I've been able to read so much more because I finally figured out, like, in order to listen to a book where I'm not feeling like I'm being waterboarded, it's two speed. If it's like a book that I'm like, whatever, and I don't really want, I don't need to listen to every single syllable, it's like 2.15. I can't not, it has to be fast. I can't do it. Sometimes, like, I used to have it where the phone was just on the counter and it was going, and my husband would walk in and he'd be like, oh my God, you're going to give me a seizure. Like, turn that off. But I can't help it. That's just how it is. Hello, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, it depends on the speed for me for books. I usually start at obviously the 1, but it's what kind of book it is, the mood that I'm in, and if I'm doing something else. If I'm walking around, if I'm taking a walk, if I'm doing an activity that requires me to have concentration, depends on, like, again, if it's not fiction or nonfiction, it's all different. But I usually, after a little while, ramp up to like 2 to 2.5, I would say, because I'm concentrating on something else. But it's totally dependent on the book and things. When I worked at a corporate job, I would just check out the CDs from the library and just put them on my computer at work and listen to them just over and over. And you can't change the speed. You couldn't then, at least. So I was just listening at 1, and that was fine. I think I pay attention a lot more. It was fine. But I'm glad I can change it for a lot of things now. It's nice. And sometimes people just read very slowly too, and you're like, oh my gosh.
The narrators, yeah.
So slow sometimes on one. I'm like, okay, wow. Okay, I can't do this. So
yeah, some of the first books that I started reading on with changing the speed was those Penny Reed books we were reading, the Winston Brother books. And the female narrator reads way faster than the male narrator. And so every time it switches a chapter, it switches POV from the male protagonist to the female protagonist. So every time it would change, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you're talking too fast. Because, like, I would have it on 2 and it was fine for the male voice, but then I would go to the female voice. I'd be like, whoa, too fast.
Yeah,
because it is, every narrator is different. They speak more slowly or they speak faster, and oh my goodness, if there's 2 different in the same book, it's like, whoa, this nope. So anywho, getting off track. Thank you. That was an amazing discussion about speed. But 59 minutes.
I don't know what that
4-star. Good. I just looked it up. Have you heard that one? You've heard of every book. Oh no. I can read a quick.
Mitch Albom? No,
it's Holly Seddon. Seddon.
Okay.
It says nuclear missile threat to South England. 59 minutes until impact. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a test. Carrie is a young mother desperate to reunite with her daughter. Frankie, newly pregnant, faces a romantic vacation that takes a terrifying turn. Then there's the enigmatic older woman determined to protect her teenage daughter, Bunny, no matter what. Across South England, these 3 women must navigate survival amidst chaos when the country receives a nuclear bomb alert. With only 59 minutes before mass destruction, will they make it to their loved ones in time?
Interesting. That sounds good.
That sounds like a super fast read, like super intense.
Nice.
It was 320 pages. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
I did listen to a book start to finish today as well. It's called I Am Messenger, and it made me cry 3 times. 3 times. And when I say it made me cry, it made me like, I had to stop for a moment and look at the light so that my tears would go back in, because I'm not a big crier. So, like, when it comes, I'm just like, suck it in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm washing dishes. I'm like, I don't have time for this. But it was very good. And it was joyful. It was because it was just emotional. It wasn't because it was sad or tragic. So in case you want to read that, it's Marcus Zusak. So anyways, okay. Next question. So first impressions of the book. Did this feel more like a family drama or a mystery? Did that change by the end? So once you got through the book, did you feel like it shifted from that family drama, or if you felt it was a mystery, or if you felt like it was a thriller, did it change by the end once everything was revealed?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I love mysteries. That's probably a genre aside from romance now. But like, I'm totally a mystery person. So I was hoping this would be more of a mystery. Like, is she dead? Is she alive? What's going on? But it took such a long time to get to the wherewithal of where she has been. I don't want to spoil everything necessarily, but like, until we get to that point, it was like, can we get back to this, please? Like, no offense to all of her children, but like, I kind of don't care about all this stuff. Aren't we supposed to be here to like look for the mother and focusing on that? Like, like the Savannah person, just get out of the way. Like, you're just annoying. Stop it. Like, so I got annoyed that it went from a mystery to just family drama for me very quickly. And again, I don't really like those. This was the confirming thing for me that I don't really like this genre of book. So it was just like, well, whatever. I finished it because I had to, and I could finish it. I was just in the zone. I'm like, all right, let's just knock this out. So yeah, that's okay.
I really thought this was going to be a thriller. Like, I thought it was going to be a whole, like, total mystery. Where is this woman? That it was going to be way more like police procedural.
Yes, thank you. Like lots of interviews with the cops. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I had never heard of this book seeing it, like physically seeing it, but never like really reading up on it or anything until it was one of the options for us. And even then, I really, to be honest, I don't really listen to the synopses because I like to dive into a book, fresh and clear, and so that I can just read it and not have any like predisposition to what it's going to be like. But when it starts out and she's missing, and then it's so awkward because like no one's calling anybody about it. No, they're not calling the police. They're not. And this is a 70-year-old woman. Like, and I know this is Australia, so I don't know if they have any special alerts like we do, like the silver alert or whatever. But like, I'm just like, what? I'm so that's why initially I was like, this is a thriller. This is going to be a thriller. And then the whole Savannah thing happened. And I was like, why are you letting some rando person like that? Like, I thought that the boyfriend was going to like jump out of the bushes and they are going to be in part of like a house invasion or something. I was like, what? So I thought it was a thriller up until they really started like shifting the POVs to all the kids. And I was like, oh, this is going to be like, we're never going to find out anything. Like, this is going to take forever, which is exactly what happened. So it totally shifted, like you said, to a family drama, which I didn't really have any problem with. A lot of, like, with everything that happened, like, I can totally see this happening. I felt like a lot of things that did happen, like, were similar to things that have happened to me, as far as, like, just, like, the generational impact of like how, what your grandparents, kind of how they raised your parents and how they tried to like fix or change or have similar interactions with their kids, and then how that impacts you, and then like, oh, how's that impacting my kids? So like a lot of it was like, yeah, like a lot of this is like, I can see this is pretty spot on in some respects. But then I started to get really confused because I'm like, okay, so like, are we ever gonna find out what happens to this chick? Like, why is this taking? She was gone for 21 days. And in that entire time, like, none of these kids were really they were so self-absorbed into their own issues. It was like their mom disappears and they just like completely retract and start making it all about themselves. I'm thinking, what the hell? Like, I don't understand. It was really confusing for a while. And then once everything was revealed, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, that's how you're going to end this? That's how this is going to work? a magnet what was malfunctioning.
So dumb.
Yeah,
Which
like
you know is malfunctioning. Like, you know what's the problem? Then why do you have it on your fridge? Throw it away. Like, why do you have that in your house still? Number one. Number two, you leave a note for your husband. And I know that, like, she just wants to get out and leave because that's what he has done, is to walk out their whole marriage, which not okay with me, by the way. Like, I'd be like, no, one time, you do that one time, second time, don't come back. The door's locked. We're getting a divorce. Like, I don't mess around. Like, so I get it. Like, you want to kind of get back at him, but also, why would you just leave that note on this janky thing that does not work, that everybody knows doesn't work? Why? That's so stupid. And you know, the dog eats paper. Again, like, dumb, just stupid. And
it was definitely very, I felt like it was very it almost felt unlike her typical revealing. It was so domestic. Like, oh, you didn't get my note? Oh, because the magnet didn't work? And then, oh, our silly dog ate it. Like, and then, like, ma'am. Oh, yeah, my phone fell out of my pocket. And I was like, oh, well, we're supposed to be, like, doing bare minimum, so I guess I'll just leave it behind, but not really know where it is.
Right.
After decades of being a helicopter mom, you're all of a sudden not going to have your, like, what? Yeah. So, I don't, anywho.
And I think everybody knows, too, like, if you put your phone on something and your phone hits carpeting, it falls off and it hits carpeting, it thuds, it makes a noise. You can hear it. There's no way she walked away and heard this noise and went, da-da-da, I don't know what that was. Like, no, if you leave a room with nobody in it, something falls after you put something down. You go like, well, whatever, that's fine. This seems fine. No, you go look, like, pick it up.
I will say this has happened to me. So mad. I will say this has happened to me one time in my entire life. Okay. So it's possible.
I get it, but
however, within the realm of what has happened, like, you're not leaving your phone lying on the ground. Anywho,
right. To go away.
So I'll tell you I'll segue quick. So over the summer, I had this bag, a crossbody bag, and in the front was like a pocket, and I always put my phone in there. Did not zip shut, nothing, whatever. We're at Costco. Okay. I'm diving into the big thing to get a watermelon. I get the watermelon. Something hits my foot, and I go, ow. What was that? Don't see anything and leave the scene. Continue on my way all the way through Costco, blah, 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 blah. Check out, get in the car. We get in the car and I'm like, where's my phone? And we look and I'm like, I must have left it at home. Drive all the way home. No phone. So because I'm freaking out at this point, because now I'm like, okay, now I lost my phone. I'm thinking, did it fall out? Because I'm aware that this bag sucks. I should never have put it in the front of that bag, whatever. So I go on to my computer and I do the whole, like, where's my phone thing, because I have a Google phone, so you can see where you last pinged, basically. And it literally shows that it's still at Costco. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I have to drive back to Costco. There's a guy parked in the spot that we're in. So I'm like looking under his car. He's sitting in this car eating a hot dog. And I'm like looking around. He's like, can I help you? And I was like, no, I think I dropped my phone. I was parked here about 20 minutes ago. So I'm like, did you see a phone? And he's like, no. Like, totally irritated that I'm like, I wasn't walking around the car. I literally just went to the front of the car and I just was looking on the surface of the concrete. Then I go in. I talk to like 5 different people. They don't have like a sound system for when people lose things. They're just kind of like, oh, no one's returned anything. And I'm like, okay, can I just leave you? So then I'm trying to call my husband. Like, can you, like, has anyone returned the phone? Can you call the phone? Like, nothing. Because I don't have a phone. So like, I'm like back in 1990 going, like, I can't even reach anybody. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll just walk through the store. So I start walking through the store because I'm like looking on the floor. I'm like, did I put it somewhere? And literally I walk like 3 steps into the store and I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly where it is. Because all of a sudden it dawns on me, oh, remember when you were at the watermelon and something hit your foot and you were like, it must have been nothing. Like you said, Laura, you heard the thing hit the carpet. Like you hear it. You know you do. I literally cannot believe that it literally fell out of my purse, hit my foot, and hit my foot enough for me to go, ow, what was that? And then still not have seen that it was my phone. And thankfully, it was still there. And it would have been there until someone moved the, like, I mean, you know, the big watermelon things. It's on a whole skid. I had to put my heart, I mean, people were looking at me like I was crazy. But put my hand in there because it was like in there. And I had to get it out. I'm like, oh my gosh. So that is when I used my birthday money to go buy my new purse, which has zippers on both of its pockets. Mm-hmm. Long story short. We got a lot of segueing here. We're on what? Question number 2? Oh my goodness. Back to our book discussion. Joy, the mom's behavior of leaving was so unusual, but everyone seemed so unbothered. It drove me crazy. And I think as we learn that this is the father's gig, like this is his thing, which the first time that it was mentioned that he did this thing where when they were having an argument or there was some like tension, that he would just leave. I thought that he meant he left the room. Like,
oh no,
oh, I'm not going to deal with this, and left the room. Like, and went into like his study or something. But then as he continued on in the story, it was like, no, he just like left the family for like days. I was like, just like what Laura said, I would have been like, if you ever did that to me, you would have done it one time and there would have been like probably therapy, like couples therapy after that. And if you ever freaking did that again, it would have been, don't come back. Or if you do, we will not be here. Like, what a diabolical form of abuse.
It's so
like, oh my goodness. And to think that that is better than hitting. I'm not saying that he should have chose hitting, but like,
right.
You need to say, like, you need to like have gone to therapy. Like, what is your problem? That is such a enormous, like, how dare you do that to your family, especially when he left them on the side of the road.
Yeah.
On the highway. What? The actual, oh my goodness. Anyways.
No.
Yeah, that was, yeah, it was so crazy. Like, but for her to like do that after all those years, you know, however long he, like they said there was a huge gap. Like he did it one last time and then he hadn't done it again. And then in that Father's Day episode, and he was getting all upset, and then she looked at him and said, "Don't you dare." We obviously know that like that is what she was referring to. Like, you don't get to leave. You don't get to leave. You don't get to do that. But for her to then follow up and be like, you know what? It's my turn to leave. You don't. Eye for an eye makes the whole world go blind. You know what I mean? Like, you
especially
can't.
after 50 years.
Yes.
Like,
I did not appreciate that response.
If you're training a puppy to go potty outside or whatever, like use a ball, whatever, to go potty, and like it pees on the floor, and you get mad at it 3 days later when it's doing nothing, and you yell, like that doesn't help the potty problem. Do you know what? Like, that's just, now you're just yelling.
Yeah.
What I also didn't like, to like related to this, was the stupid neighbor's kid when he walks over with the casserole. Like, it's like 2 weeks or more into her missing. That's a while when she's missing. And then he's coming home and notices that their camera got moved in the storm and was facing the house, and was like, maybe we should look at that. You dummy. I can't believe that it would take you this long and your neighbor is missing to go, yeah, oh, you know what? We have a camera outside. Let me look and see if we can see anything. Even if it's not facing that way, you never know who came in the house, because you don't know where she is, right? Why did it take that long for some ding dong to go, oh, we have an outside camera?
Well, and especially because in a police,
with the police on it too.
Yeah, within a police investigation, the police would have gone to all of the neighbors' homes. They would have asked them about any unusual behavior, and then because of the time that we're living, I mean, this is like a real time because they were talking about COVID several times.
Right.
They would have asked, "Do you have rank?" Like that's like a new thing. Like everyone has cameras now. Like everyone has cameras. So they would have said, "Do you have any cameras?" And even if this family would have been like, "We do," but they're not facing their house, they would have still said, "We'd like to see the footage."
Exactly. I know. When that happened,
and I'm no cop.
I know.
But I've seen a lot of cop shows.
I yelled out. I was like, "You have got to be kidding!" Like to nobody, I just yelled.
Oh, I know, right?
Kidding. No, nope. And to Andy's point earlier, she left a message about if this was her first Moriarty, it would be her last. Same. If this is my first one, yes, it would be my last one too. Like,
yes,
all right, I'm
I
only going to read her for book clubs, and if I'm supposed to read, otherwise I won't read her again. And again, if this is a me thing, I know she's a beloved author. She's so popular the world over. Like, I know it's me. I'm the weirdo, and that's perfectly fine. But like, I would not. I wouldn't. Yeah. As it was like 400 pages of nothing for no reason, and then 70 more pages of what? No. Mm-mm.
I think I do like to play devil's advocate here, and I do actually, I do like her writing.
Yeah,
and great. I will continue to write.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or I will continue to read. I think what is really good about her writing, and not that this is a reason to write a book, but they are really good for discussion because she touches on so many things that I think she has a really she has a knack for it. So, I mean, at least there's that. Thank you. You're welcome. There's a hit and run near our house a while back. The cops came and asked if there was anything on our Ring camera. Yes, they do. They will ask you.
Not like, hey, neighbor.
A lot of people have cameras now. A lot of people have cameras. I often wonder too, like, because I was thinking about that, with everything that's happening in the world today, and it's crazy. But I think to myself, like, would I be that person that would immediately go, "Oh, of course"? I'd be like, or would I be like, "You can get a warrant and then you can have my footage"? Because I think to myself, like, there's going to be coming up like people getting sued for providing Ring camera footage because you're recording another person without their permission. If you think about it that way.
Yeah.
Like if it's not on your property, if it's like past the property line, but you caught whatever happened. I'm wondering if we're going to start to see like civil suits of like criminals that are gonna be like, well, you were recording me without my permission or something, like that's where my head goes. So I'm like, I don't know, like, do I just say I need a warrant so like I can cover my butt? Like, I don't know, like, that's where my weirdo head goes. But anywho, on a scale of 1 to 10, how dysfunctional is this family?
I mean, dysfunctional, but I have certainly read and known way more dysfunctional families than this one. So like 6, I mean 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'm in the 5 range.
Like, yeah, they're nuts, but who isn't, sort of. And also like they could be crazier.
Yeah. I felt like there was a lot of function within the dysfunction, because I feel like even though they were dysfunctional and there was a lot of like mayhem and like weirdness, once you got to know them better, like, because in the beginning everyone was mental. It was like, what's wrong with this Amy chick? She's eating paper. What is wrong? What is up with her? And then by the end you're like, she's just a little messed up. She just needs to be seen. She needs to be seen. That's her whole thing, is just like be understood and seen for who she is, and not be required to be anyone but herself. And to me, I thought that was normal. And then you have the what is it? The older daughter. Was she the oldest? And she had
Amy's
the oldest. So the youngest.
Brooke.
Brooke. She was like, just a people pleaser. She's just trying to please everybody. She's trying to be what everybody thinks she should be. And once she gave all that away, like, she was good again. Like, and all of the family members, like, knew each other. They knew that about each other, but they're so concerned about, yes, there is competition, but it was more so of, like, not letting it be seen that they were struggling, because they all wanted to be collectively, like, perfect. Like, we're this high functioning family. We're all-star athletes. And when that started to, like, tumble down, it was kind of like, well, we're going to keep this facade up because we don't want to let each other down. Like, whether that be for embarrassment or, not fulfilling their full potential. Like, when the dad goes off on Father's Day about, like, how each one of the kids basically failed because they were so amazing and then they just stopped doing whatever. That was really sad. I was like, oh my God, will you shut up? And even the son, who was like the investment banker or whatever he was, again, in the beginning, I was like, you're a dick. Like, shut up. But by the end, I was like, he's not. He's just, like, trying to show his dad that he can be great without playing tennis. Like, the whole thing was, you told, every character had an arc. And what you thought in the very beginning of the book completely changed by the end. And the only person that I really didn't care for in the whole thing was Joy. I did not like the mom at all. I was like, because we don't get to see her arc. She doesn't have one because she's missing. So, like, you don't really get to know her. I mean, you get to know her through the flashbacks, right? But does she change? And not necessarily does she change, but is there any, like, redeeming qualities based on what we've seen from her? Because what it seems like is that, one, she used her husband being, like, more of the star athlete as an excuse to not continue to be her own individual, like, successor. Then she used being a mother an excuse again to not do certain things. Like, she allowed a lot of her life to become an excuse. And not to say that any of those things aren't hard. They are incredibly hard. But she started to, like, fall back on them as, like, the excuses as not to. Oh, I can't because of this. When she admitted later, like, I could have done these things, but I decided instead to use that as an excuse, right? So that's all you really get to see from her, is that, like, the generational handicap, so to speak, because her mother was, like, totally not into her playing tennis and was kind of like a lousy grandmother, but still was very impactful when she passes. Like, she still misses her mom. Like, that's the thing, is it, and I see this with my own stepdaughter, like, it doesn't matter how horrible your mother was. She is still your mother. Mm-hmm. And you still want to have some kind of connection there. You still want to have some kind of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a thread between mothers and their children that is just, it's almost unbreakable. And I know it's not for everyone. Like, there are, relationships that are completely severed. But there is something so intrinsic about even like a mother-daughter relationship. And it's sad because especially when you have loved ones, like, for instance, in my stepdaughter's case, when you see it, it's heartbreaking. And you're encouraging of what they want, not what the mother wants necessarily, because they're not a very good person. But you're, like, encouraging of what the daughter wants, but also trying to, like, help them protect themselves too, And I think that's a lot of what Joy did with herself, with her mother, and her mother not being that great of a grandmother. And then even her mother-in-law not really being that great of a grandmother, other than the whole apple crisp thing, which was weird.
Yeah.
But I think that's another thing that Moriarty does really well, is that, like, she has these, like, compact compounding factors, like with this generational trauma almost, especially with the Savannah character, because that ending, holy shnikes, I was not expecting that at all, and we can talk about that later. But yeah, definitely dysfunctional, but I don't think it's the worst dysfunction I've seen. And I feel like this high trauma episode that happens with the mother disappearing, and they all kind of have to, it's all like in their face, they have to acknowledge and work through a lot of issues to try to figure out like what possibly could have happened, and did our dad kill our mom? Like, how crazy would that be? I think they all grow, and I think at the end almost all of them have happy endings, like Amy with the younger guy, and the one son, I can't remember anyone's name because, you know, I read this at the beginning of that.
Troy and Logan.
Logan is clearly going to get back with his girlfriend. And even Troy, because of COVID, is going to end up back with his wife probably, because like she really puts it in there, like he always goes for the hard things, like he tried, you know, and it's like, oh my gosh. So not only is she pregnant with his baby, technically, but it's implied that he's basically going to try to win her over again, which in the scenes that we see with them, it's very clear that they still have a very strong connection. And it's sad because, like, what I didn't appreciate, because that whole situation was weird. I'm like, I would never ask my ex-husband if I can use our eggs, and then it would be his baby, even if we were amicable. That's just so weird to me. And then to ask my current husband to raise a child that is my ex-husband's, that was so messed up. And then to later find out that, like, neither of the men even wanted the situation to happen, but they're just doing it to make her happy. That's messed up. Like, new husband doesn't even want kids? What? That sounds like a terrible situation to bring a child into. So that really irritated me. That was one of the pieces that I was like, what? But anywho, back to happy endings. And then the Brooke seemed to be like on the up and up, like coming back to herself and being more of herself. And then of course the Joy and Stan seemed to be a new couple again, which I did appreciate the fact that, like, she did a nice job of really depicting the ups and downs of marriage. Like, sometimes you freaking hate that person and you're like, get out, like, I don't want to be with this person. And then it, like, you know, you have ebbs and flows in relationships, and it's how you work through those that's important. And did they do it to the best of their ability? Maybe not. But it was nice to, like, not have it like, oh, they had a perfect marriage up until this, you know. It was nice to see that it was a, you know, it's a struggle like most marriages are. I mean, you're people that grow and change and all the things. I'm sorry, I'm feeling like I'm on tangents. I apologize.
Okay.
So
Mary,
if you're still here, it is Lanny by Max Porter. I do have it on our Instagram page. I can post it in our community tab in YouTube. But yes, it's Lanny by Max Porter for next month. I'm sorry if I talked way too much, then you missed us. But yes, Lanny by Max Porter. Okay. I think we all kind of answered this question already, but did you enjoy the way the mystery unfolded, or did you wish it had been tighter or faster?
I wish it was different.
Right. I don't mind the length of her books, but I felt I wanted more of the police POV. Like, I didn't feel like we got enough of their investigation.
Every time they showed up, I was like, oh yeah, the police.
Yeah, like,
oh, like the family, you know, and Savannah.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God. Oh God. Yeah.
Did you relate to any of the siblings? Did you feel
Yeah.
like that was this kind of book? Like, did you relate to anybody at all?
Kind of. I mean, I related to Amy a lot, and I also related to Brooke in a lot of ways. But I felt more like Amy. Like, you're the oldest, I am the only, so pretty much same. We have similar issues. Like, I get it. I don't need paper, but you know, yeah, I felt more like Amy. But I got points of everybody that was in the book. You know, everyone had parts of themselves that are relatable. You know, even though we're all so different as people, we're all not that different in a lot of ways. You know, like, so I think it was mostly Amy, but you know, I don't know. And I know all family dynamics are different, but like my family, extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, and everybody, we're all like, our theory is like, just be honest. Like, we're all messed up. We all got our shit. What's going on? You know, like, it was all just like, let's just talk about it, you know? And if you don't want to, that's okay. But like, we're here. If you want to talk to somebody, that's fine. So sometimes people would not want to talk and they would say like, hey, can you tell the family? So it'd be like, hey, so-and-so broke up with so-and-so, and you know, he's doing okay, she's doing okay, but like this happened. Like, let me be like, oh, I'm so sorry, Gary. That's really sucks. I'm sorry you're going through that. Like, yeah, you know, whatever. But then that was it. It wasn't like this shameful secret or whatever. Like, our family was always very open, and except my mom's side. This is my mom's side. My dad's side is a different kettle of fish because my dad was the accident baby and was informed he was an accident his whole life. So like, there's a lot there that's hard, and we didn't really know them that well. That was my dad's choice, you know, which I get too. So I understand all that stuff. So the family dynamics I get about it, and I get Amy the most. I think all of it, but like, and this is why I don't like family dramas too. I know I talked to you about this in a message, but like, just be honest. Like, hey, I'm uncomfortable. This is weird to say, but like, this is what's going on. And like, if someone's disappointed, that's on them, you know? That's why I don't like family dramas. Anyways, weirdly. Yes, it was Amy more than anybody else, though I understood parts of everybody in the story. Except for Savannah. Like, girl, you need help so badly. I'm not surprised that she did that to her mother, because that was like the person that not deserved it, but out of anybody, that was the one who caused her trauma. And if that's what she wanted to do with it, okay, fine. But to just keep doing it then and like just leave her there, like that was so disturbing. But again, totally in theme, not surprising. Surprising, but not. Like, really? Okay, she's gonna keep going. So yes and no. Like, everybody had parts. I felt most like Amy, but yeah, I don't know. Meh. Yeah. Big ramble.
That's what we're here for. I don't think that I necessarily related to anybody, but I definitely gravitated towards Logan. And I don't know why. I just felt like I understood him so much more than everyone else.
Yeah.
Just the way he kind of was reacting to a lot of things, and with his relationship with Indira, and like trying to like basically placate her throughout their relationship. Like, he would react to her and thinking that was a positive way to do things. So like, he noticed she doesn't like it when he says something nice about her body, so then he would stop saying stuff about her body. And then like, you know, like, so it was this constant like being a referee all the time with her emotions, instead of like, hey, so I notice every time that I tell you you're beautiful, you react negatively. Can we talk about that?
Right.
Like you said, why don't we talk about things? And conversely to your understanding of that, like, I definitely understand all these people like not actually talking about anything, because they're in, in a extremely high performing family,
right?
And the level of disappointment, and then embarrassment associated with failure is so intense in this family that I totally understand why nobody wants to actually tell anyone what's actually happening in their life. And I think that's a lot of like the point of a lot of the drama is like the fact that because of the level of pressure that these kids are under and also the parents, like no one's gonna say a dang thing.
And I get that too, but like the truth is going to come out anyways. Like you're just lying in the meantime, and everybody knows no one's happy. Everybody knows everything is fake, so just say it. You're not going to hide your divorce. They're going to notice. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
no one's gonna feel like, oh, whatever.
I think they all were expecting that they were going to be able to fix it before everyone found out. Right. Is kind of the feeling or the understanding that I had. Yeah. Jenna mentions that the connection to Joy with the sacrifices and family, but the behavior with Savannah was off-putting, and I completely agree. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was almost a huge slap in the face with all her kids being there, and then she has this random 20-year-old and like is just fawning over her, especially with her being there on Father's Day. I would have been like, so it's Father's Day, our children are coming over. Right. Do you have somewhere you can go? Like, and I get like trying to be hospitable and like welcoming, but there's a certain point that you gotta like pause on it. Right. And to have invited a stranger to then live with you, mm-hmm. and you basically say, oh, well, it's okay because she sleeps with the door open, so it must be okay.
Right. And the brownie thing too. I was like, why?
Oh my gosh.
Don't do that.
But then to find out like that was part of the scheming. Like that was like, oh, I got back at everybody. How did I get back at Amy? I made brownies. Like
yeah.
The psychosis there is mm-hmm. so mental.
Yeah, you're like, okie dokie.
Like
got her.
the thing with Savannah, that whole storyline was so... I just was so taken aback by that because it was so intense, but then it just kept like getting brushed off like it was nothing, and I kept waiting for the blowout. I kept waiting, and there were certain things, but it wasn't like enough for me. And then at the very end with the whole thing about how she's like she's like going through what happened, I'm like, now when I think back to how you told Joy that you've done worse, I totally understand now, because you're referring to the fact that you pretty much probably killed your mom by starving her in a room because that's what she did to you. Mm-hmm. What the heck? Holy bajolies. Okay, I'm just going back through comments. Just wanted to make sure I didn't miss any. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes they just don't hit you the right way.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to our questions. I think some of these have kind of... Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, the whole Savannah thing. Did you feel like Savannah felt like a catalyst, a red herring, or something else entirely?
I thought it was dumb and not necessary. I mean, like, if you take her out of it, I mean, you can take her out of it, and the story is still mostly there. You know, like...
Well, but she is a catalyst, because if she had not shown up, then the Father's Day issue wouldn't have happened, where they all were basically outed of how their father felt about them. And that is what, like, continued, like, spiking all these familial issues.
Right.
But I also feel like she was a red herring in the fact of, like, because we're like, Joy's missing, this seemingly crazy girl shows up. And see, with the dad leaving, I kept thinking, I'm like, I wonder, because at first I didn't realize he was just leaving because he was like choosing not to be abusive or whatever, even though that is abuse. I'm like, oh my gosh, did he go and like has like a different like woman or whatever, and this Savannah is like a kid from that relationship, and now she's come and like wants this life because she didn't get the life that he provided this family. And then when that wasn't the case, I was like, oh well, that wasn't that fun then. Yeah. Because yeah, when the police are there to arrest him and like Joy just walks in like nothing, like that was so incredibly like lackluster, and so like I was like, what? Yeah. And Joy's like, oh, how would you possibly think that he could have killed me? I'm like, because of all of the evidence, Joy.
Right.
He walked out on you and your family multiple times throughout your marriage. He comes from a dysfunctional family. He clearly has rage issues. He went off on all of your kids on Father's Day. The blood, the like cleaning out your house. First of all, you were missing. Didn't even know if you were coming back. And then he's like, oh, well, I'm going to make sure the house is real nice when she comes home so that she forgives me. What? Oh my. And then too, like, okay, why are you not telling the police the truth? That's what irritates me in a lot of these shows and stuff, is like when people like try to lie about things that are so minute. Like, okay, you have scratches on your face. Oh, I got them from the hedge. Okay, I get that you don't want to make it seem like you were having a fight, but you were having a fight. And it ended with you leaving the house and going for a walk. And when you came back, your wife was gone. How simple would it have been to have said that? Yes, they could have said you were lying, but at the same time, you had said, and I can prove I was on the walk. Ask the neighbor. Because she picked me up because I fell down. There you go. There's your, like, it irks me when, and it happens all the time in books and movies because obviously it helps the storyline. And obviously people do it in real life too. But it drives me insane. Because like, I think you were saying in one of our private messages, it's like the miscommunication trope.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Because it's like, no. If you would have just said this, none of the book would have happened because you would have just said the truth. You just said what happened, and then we wouldn't be through this whole stupid mess.
Right.
But anywho, my goodness. By the end of the book, do you feel like the Delaney family is broken, healing, or simply learning to live with its flaws?
I think it's a combination of the last two. I would hope to be more healing, but you know, everyone copes and you can only process so much at a time, you know, so but I think they're in a better place certainly than they were previously because they were forced to just be honest finally.
Yeah.
Each other and themselves.
Yeah, I think it's like a form of healing with learning. They're like relearning. They're relearning each other's habits and
letting the old crap
who they are. Yeah, like I think they all had a certain expectation of the other. Or they had a certain, like, this is the kind of person that you are. And I think through this whole 21 days, they kind of found out, like, well, actually, there's a lot more to you than this.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think that's like a form of healing, relearning, and more understanding. And I feel like even Joy at the end, like, not that we got to see a lot of her arc, but I feel like she was really like taking a step back. Like she was really trying to be more or less uptight, because I feel like, because you know, she was so obsessed with, I want the next thing that a child tells me is that they're pregnant. And I can tell you from experience, the pressure of being asked every time you turn around when you're having kids is, for a woman, and I'm sure men too, but like it's so incredibly exhausting. And it's like it's daunting. So I totally like was, when she was doing that, I was like, oh my Lord, like what if they can't have kids? Which is the situation with the Troy, like they weren't able to have children, or it wasn't working out for them as they were hoping. And then to like put that pressure on then Logan and Dear, you know, like, one, they're not even married. to like, what if they don't want children? Like,
Yeah.
it's not a criteria for, it's not an obligatory thing. It's your choice. Oh man, that stuff drives me nuts. Anywho.
I would talk to my friends' parents because I mean I've known most of my friends for most of my life. I know their family. I know that their grandparents. I know a lot of my friends' extended family. So when they would harass my friends, like, when are you going to get married? When are you having a kid? Like, I'd be like, hey, I know you think you're helping and like you're excited, but this is making her putting it off. You might want to consider stopping. And they'd be like, well, no, I mean, I know she knows I'm teasing. I'm like, no, she doesn't know you're teasing. It's not funny to her. She's really, really mad. Like, we talk about this a lot. I think that you're working against yourself here. I mean, but I was always that person. Like, let's stop and talk about this. Your sisters don't fight. Like, why are you fighting? This is really stupid. And like their parents would be like, what? Like, this little kid is like, knock it off. But I mean, really knock it off. Because I forever, for like 25 years, got asked consistently by everybody, oh, aren't you going to date anybody? Aren't you going to get married? Don't you want kids even if you don't have somebody? And I would say, no. Are you going to raise it with me? Do you have a magic wand to create somebody that's not an asshole? No, that was not happening. Like, I'm perfectly fine on my own. Thank you very much. Like, I would like to meet somebody. Yes, it would be lovely. But I'm not going to date a bunch of schmoes just because. Like, nope. Nope. I just shut it down right away. Like, nope. Are you volunteering? Are you going to divorce your wife to marry me? Then no, thank you. You know, just nope, don't do it. Stop it. I'm such a jerk. I'm so upfront with people. I shouldn't be. But I just am like, whatever, don't do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think everyone has a different plan for their life.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, in the olden days, it was, you are born, you grow up, and for women, you get married, you have kids, you raise those kids, that's it.
Right.
And then it's just like, that's like this never-ending cycle. And that's just not the case.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a different plan for their life. Some people don't want to get married. Some people don't want to have kids. Some people want to have kids, but they don't want to be married. Like, everyone has a different plan. And that's okay.
Right.
But to continuously pressure or, like you said, tease,
mm-hmm.
none of it's cool. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
And especially too, like, it's hard when you don't know what someone's plan is. So if you're like, oh, do you have kids? Well, you don't know that. Oh, maybe for the last 12 years, they've been having trouble having kids. And that's a sore point. Like, just don't. If someone brings up their situation and you want to reply to it, great. But like, don't. You don't know what other people's situations is. And sometimes it really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So anywho, been married 8 years and just, oh my goodness, congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, woohoo.
Yeah.
Sometimes the plan changes, I guess.
It does, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Well, due tomorrow. Oh, you must be miserable. I remember both of my children, well, one I had I had to be induced because of her health issues, but then the other one, I still had him a week early. So both of my kids were exactly a week before their due date. But I have known people that have gone past their due date, and they have said it is miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a lot psychological too, because you're like, this is the date. I don't have to do any more past this date. Because when you get to the end, you're like, this is it.
Yeah. This
is it. I mean, and I'm speaking from my own experience. I don't know if it's the same for you, but it's like, there's no more after this. And then some people, it's like my sister-in-law, I think it was like 10 days. And she was like, get this kid out of me. We're getting this kid out of me today. Like, it's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of my friends was almost 2 weeks and she was like, I will give myself a C-section. I don't care. This kid is coming out.
I think people mean well, just curious when they ask, but
sure,
it's not their business and they should just sip it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's different too. If someone you're meeting, like you're getting to know somebody, you're like, oh, do you have kids? Are you married? Normal question. And you just say like whatever it is. But like for family and friends who kind of know you, it's, come on now. You know better. Like if I was pregnant and I've been married for 8 years, I would tell you.
Well, I think the worst,
Whatever.
and I'm just speaking from experience.
Yeah.
I think the worst is boomer mothers. And I'm talking about my mother. She is terrible about it. Like she wants grandchildren and she has grandchildren, but she wants more. And it's like, that's not up to you.
Right.
And you need to shut up. Like, there's four of us kids. So this was very interesting because like I'm part of a 4-kid family, so it was interesting to see the dynamics there. But we have all talked to her about this. Like, you need to stop because it's not helpful. It does not help you. Like, you're not building any relationships here by being mental about this. Like, it's just, you need to stop. It's too much. And don't get me wrong, totally understand where she's coming from. She just she wants to be able to love these children. But in her head she thinks that everybody wants kids and everyone should be able to have kids and everyone should be able to have that experience of but what she doesn't get is once someone has made that decision that that's not the experience that they want, that has to be, appreciated. That has to be recognized. And then you drop it. That's it. That's all. That's period.
Yep.
It's not up to you. It's not up to you. So, yeah. I'm sorry. I don't want to lose where I'm at. Okay. Thing is, gosh, some physically don't feel bad, but I'm definitely trying old wives' tale. Yeah.
Hot sauce. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like spicy stuff. Lots of walking. I was walking a lot at the end. I was like, get this kid out of me. But I also I was walking really close to home because I was like, but what if all of a sudden I'm too far from home as I'm walking?
For the house. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Totally. You bet.
I hope everything goes smoothly and quickly, but not too quick, and everyone's healthy. And I hope it's soon.
I don't want to push drugs on you, but do the epidural.
Yeah.
Best thing I ever done in my whole life. Decided to have 2 kids were enough. Would love more, but her hubby's decision. So I'm just grateful for the 2 she gave me.
Sure.
I know my mom. So many of you know I'm turning 40 this year, right? So I already know I'm considered geriatric when it comes to pregnancies. So I had my daughter, I was 37, and I had my son, I was 38. Both geriatric pregnancies, both high risk considerably. But also we've seen celebrities at 50 having kids. So it's possible, but it's not safe because it really is towards the end of good times. Anyways, my mom is still you could have another one. I'm like, Mom. I literally, the last time she said it to me, I said, Mom, you have to understand, I have literally just now felt like I've gotten my body back. And my son is 2.5 years old. And my body is not anywhere where I would want it to, where I would like it to be. But I'm just now in the last couple of months feeling okay, I can do this. My body is feeling like it's mushed itself back together. I'm not feeling as not myself. I'm I cannot put myself through that again. Yes. Do I want more kids? Kinda, yeah, but I can't. I cannot physically put myself through that again. And I know I'm older, and to have another newborn and then the other I can't. It's well, you've done it. You can do hard things. Mom, why are you trying to negotiate this?
Right. No.
We're done. Period. I said no. We're done. Move on. It's over. Ugh. Anywho, getting off that topic. Yes. It's my mom too. I never had an epidural. I had 4 kids. I'm yeah, but you know what? After number 2, I think they were pretty much they were on a slip and slide. So I think an epidural is unneeded for a 1 hour delivery. I think we're good.
Me too. I never had one.
Yeah. Definitely considering epidural. I'm 35 with gestational. Yeah, I had gestational for my son, and I felt so, like, I'm just gonna say, I was freaking pissed. I was so mad. And, like, I didn't have a hard time with it. Like, I feel like it was like I was just on, like, just teetered over. So they force you to do all this stuff. And I freaking hated that because I felt, you're so restricted. And not that I was trying to, like, eat like a crazy person, but then you're, like, so restricted. And, like, every time I would test, I would be, like, super, like, not low, but, like, in complete normal range. And I'm like, see, I don't think this is not right. I was so pissed. Like, I freaking hated having to do that. And thankfully, just the way my appointments lined up, I ended up testing for that on the, like, real tail end of my pregnancy. If I had gone in and had that done on the one that they wanted me to go in, I would have been, like, an extra, like, 2 months having to do all that stuff. I would have died. That was the worst. And I'm so sorry that you have to go through that. My cousin also went through it with me, and she, like, if you need to talk, like, just call me, because it's insufferable. And I don't know if your experience was the same, but it was terrible. I hated having to deal with poking and watching, like, calorie count. Like, it's so, especially being a person that grew up with diet culture, like, that was excruciating, because you just felt like you were back in this, like, toxic frame of mind of, like, oh, I can't eat, but it's like, I'm also supposed to be nourishing my baby. I lost, like, 16 pounds while I was pregnant. And the nutritionist is like, oh, that's not good. Like, you need to eat more. I'm like, listen, I am eating what you're telling me to eat when I need to eat it. And I can't help that. And you're also asking me to exercise on top of it to keep this blood sugar down. So when I lost the 16 pounds, she was, like, flipping a lid. And then, so when I talked to because I'm geriatric, I had to go in, like, once a week then. And my doctor, my actual, like, the baby doctor, OB, whatever, she was just like, you're fine. Because I was also overweight at the time. So 16 pounds was nothing, because the baby was still, like, regular size or whatever. Because with gestation, you're afraid their baby's going to get too big or whatever. So, oh my God, what a mess. That was the worst. That's why I know I can't do it again, because more than likely they would test me early for gestational, because I already had it. And then I would have it again and I would die, because there's no way. No way. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're geriatric. I want to say it's like 30. Maybe it's 35. I feel like it's earlier than that.
Well,
But my OB always rolls her eyes like, oh, it's stupid that they call it that. Yeah. But I mean, it's whatever. That's why I liked my OB, because my OB was, like, had the same kind of story as me. Like, she's like, I think she's, like, 4 years older than I am, but she started her pregnancy journey the same, like, kind of similar to me. So she was an older pregnant woman as well. So it's kind of nice to, like, know, like, she understands when I come in and I'm, like, irritated because everyone's like, oh, you're geriatric. Like, shut up. I don't feel geriatric. Do I look geriatric? I'm a millennial. Thank you very much. We don't age. First 2-0 and third one epidural. If I could go back, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's exactly the same thing that happened to me. Yeah. It's annoying. Yeah, there is. It's geriatric, and then there's another term. I can't remember what it is, but there is another term that they use more now, but it's still not good. It's still annoying. Anywho, we've had a lot of tangents in this I think we've read this. I mean, I think we've answered this multiple times. I think we know what everyone's answer is. Would you read from this author again? This is our second time reading. I know I will. I will continue. Anytime I'm at the thrift store and I see a book that I haven't read from her, I usually pick it up. So I do have a couple more on my shelf that I can read. So I will continue.
Yeah, I will not. Unless it comes up for a book club or something, then I will try.
Thank you. I think you're right. Advanced maternal age. Yep. 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 Yeah. No, and that's okay. You know, you tried it. You did your best. And not every author is for every reader.
Exactly. It's fine. I'm fine.
Yeah. Because I get that with, so everyone loves Kristen Hanna. And I've read one book of hers, and I will never go back. I will never read any of her books. I could not stand the book I read. I was like so annoyed. I hated it. And the thing is, I've heard so many good things about so many of her books, and I'm like, I just can't. Upon principle, I can't do it. I don't want to waste my time. So I totally get it. Not every author is for every reader.
I know that this genre is not really for me anyways, so like I just don't read it, and that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, I realize that. I know. And a lot of people, what is it, Great Alone and Firefly, whatever, people, no, I'm not into it. I can't do it.
I'm going to try her this year for the first time because out of my clients, over half of them are readers, and every single reader, every single one of them has talked about how good The Women is. And these people do not read the same at all. Like there's very little overlap in all of my clients for reading, and they all have read The Women for book clubs, and they all liked it. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I'm going to start, this summer, I think I'm going to try, because there's still like some holds on it and everything, but there's like 100 some copies in my county. So I can get my hands on a copy pretty easily. So I'm going to try her, but she's never appealed to me before. And like, I know The Nightingale is supposed to be so great and everybody loves that one. That's her, like, it seems like most popular one of all of her titles, but it just doesn't interest me. But I'm going to read The Women and give it a shot. I don't know.
Yeah, I read her. It's called The Night Road.
Yeah.
I hated it with a fiery passion. And the funny thing was at the time I was doing a book club similar to this, but what it was through Facebook, and only I was the moderator. So like I would be doing this, but by myself. So it was really awkward because a lot of times like nobody would be in the live. So I would just be talking about the book by myself. So then I had to read this chunky book that I hated. So I get to the live and I'm just like super uninterested in doing it. And there were like 12 people. I was like, y'all are going to piss me off because you're not in any other book discussion. And then the one book that I don't like and I don't want to discuss, you're all here. Oh, it made me so mad. So I'm like, I'm not reading any more from this author. Nope. Yeah, Night Road. Yeah, I did not like it.
Have you read The Women, Andy? Probably.
Yeah, she said she did not love The Women.
Okay, I just saw Great Alone in that. Okay, gotcha.
Well, we have chatted for quite some time. Are there any other things that we want to discuss about the book or any other things that we've mentioned?
No.
4-star. Didn't love it, but 4 stars. Not bad. Yeah. I do get that from a lot of people, but I just can't. Maybe someday in my old age.
Yeah.
In my true geriatric age, I'll take a look. And then I'll have to call you and be like, I was so wrong. We should have read this earlier. Not today.
No.
Okay, folks. Well, you will see us here next week, just Tuesday, February 3rd. We will be here for our reading sprints. We are going to be reading Max Porter's Lanny for February. So if you're interested in reading that, starting that in February, you can certainly read that during our reading sprints, but you don't have to. You can read whatever you'd like. A lot of times we don't read the month pick. Yeah. We also will be announcing the 3 options for March. So if you're interested in learning what those are live, we will be doing that here. Same time, 8 p.m. Jenna, I don't suppose we'll see you because I'm assuming you will be quite busy. But if we do, that's great too. I think that's it. So we will see you next week. Otherwise, until then, hope that you're all staying safe out there. So happy reading.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.